Tail of the tape now, and you're going to see some advantages for Mike Alvarado as he goes back to trying to prove his mettle as an intelligent boxer with brawling skills. You see the 4-year age advantage for Provodnikov, but Alvarado 3 inches taller and the better boxer. 2.5 inches of arm length advantage measured from the armpit to the end of the fist, and a better boxer. They both weighed in at 139.8, although Alvarado at first was 1 pound and 1/10 over and took almost all of the allowed 2 hours to get down under the 140-pound limit. And not terribly surprisingly, coming off of that, Alvarado has rehydrated tonight up to 157 pounds as opposed to 148 for Provodnikov. So functionally, unofficially, coming into the ring, Alvarado will have a 9-pound weight advantage in what could be an extremely physical fight. Ruslan Provodnikov proved in his March war with Tim Bradley that he's as tough as they come. It's no surprise, considering he's from one of the harshest climates known to man, near the Arctic Circle in Siberia in Russia.
I'm from a small village-type town called Berezovka. It's very far in Siberia. There's a lot of hunting, a lot of fishing, and it's very traditional to eat a lot of raw meat, raw fish. And I think that the food that I've been consuming throughout my life has a lot to do with the way I am. I think that has to do a lot with my strength, my ability as an athlete. We all know who I fought in March. It was Timothy Bradley. It was a very emotional fight. Throughout the fight, I hurt him numerous times. I think after the 6th round, the second part of the fight, we were both pretty exhausted, and we were just fighting with what was left. I was able to hurt him in the 12th round. I was able to get something out of myself when there was barely anything left. And it happened at the end of the round. There was not much time to do anything else. After the fight, I went to the bathroom and I had black urine. I couldn't believe it. I mean, I think my body just was so exhausted, and my body just couldn't handle everything that I had to go through in that fight. It proves that I gave it all, and I think it was a great fight. You know, Bradley's a great champion, and maybe that night he deserves to stay champion, and maybe the judges made a fair decision.
And here comes Provodnikov. I cannot risk saying from one raw meat environment to another. He left Siberia and has lived most of the last 4 years in Hollywood, California, training at Freddie Roach's Wild Card Gym. But Roach isn't here tonight. He's in the Philippines preparing Manny Pacquiao for Brandon Rios. So the trainer in Provodnikov's corner will be Marvin Samodio, a Filipino who came to the Roach operation via Manny Pacquiao. Roy Jones, what will it mean to Provodnikov tonight that Freddie Roach, his trainer and instructor, is not in the corner?
It won't mean much at all, Jim. He got a guy who's been going through training camp with him for quite some time now. Usually your second guy knows just about as much as your first guy. He's basically a duplicate of the first guy, so it should be easily figured out between the two of them.
And you hear some scattered boos in the crowd because this is obviously Alvarado's hometown, and they're cheering on the hometown guy and booing his opponent. But Provodnikov, off that Bradley fight, has the respect of the entire boxing world.
Well, and he had earned a great deal of that fighting on ESPN, too, even prior to the Bradley fight, where he was in a series of brawls that made him well known to the kinds of fans who love to see street fights as opposed to boxing matches. He's a street fight kind of a guy.
Yeah, he is a street fight kind of guy, Jim, but we also have to ask the same question we asked about Bradley last week. How much did the Bradley fight take out of him?
And this is the 9th time that Mike Alvarado has fought here in his hometown of Denver as a professional, but the first time he'll be doing it as a world champion. Things haven't been easy of late for the people of Colorado, but Mile High Mike, defending his title here, can hope to provide them with a bright spot.
Mike! Mile High!
In that Rios fight, when I heard I won that fight, it meant the world to me. You know, when I won my first world title, out of all that hard work, that moment was the best feeling ever in my life. Now it's a real dream come true, bringing it home to defend my world title. I mean, having all my main supporters and all the people that care and all my loved ones, and that's even more motivation for me to fight harder. You know, it's gonna be very overwhelming, but you know, I fought at this stage many times, so I mean, I know how to, you know, not get too anxious or too nervous fighting in front of my hometown. You know, it's just gonna bring that much more energy for me in that ring. I'm gonna use it to help me stay focused to win this fight.
Over the years, we made a big point about how former soccer player and bicycle racer Sergio Martinez of Argentina had defied the odds by taking up boxing at age 20 and rising to the championship level. Here's another one. Alvarado didn't take up boxing until age 20, but Max, after a deep, long background as a national championship caliber high school and junior high school wrestler. What do you think the wrestling did to help set him up for boxing?
Well, he certainly knows how to cut weight, but if anything, it shows nature over nurture. His stepfather, a wrestler, trained him to be a wrestler practically from the cradle, but his biological father, who he didn't meet till he was an adult, was a boxer. And lo and behold, Mike Alvarado's a boxer. And by the way, legendary nights, Gaddy and Ward, of all the fighters in boxing today, Mike Alvarado reminds me the most of Arturo Gaddy. He can box if he needs to, but the tough guy in him will not let him make it an easy night for himself. He loves to mix it up.
Brings us back to your original point, Roy. He's never seen a street fight he didn't want to get into.
Exactly. You never seen what he didn't want to get into, and it's even harder to stay out of him when you have your hometown crowd backing you in that street fight.
If he can do that, if he can master his impulses, it'll be the second time this year he's done it. And it will show that he has graduated to a new, higher level as a boxing champion. $1 from every sold ticket goes to Colorado flood victims, and we have a packed house here tonight. Let's go to ring announcer Michael Buffer for the official introductions.
Ladies and gentlemen, Bob Arum's Top Rank Incorporated and HBO World Championship Boxing welcome you to the First Bank Center here in Broomfield, Colorado, USA, serving the greater mile-high metropolitan area of Denver, Colorado. This is the moment we've all been waiting for, the main event. 12 rounds of boxing for the WBO Light Welterweight Championship of the World. Sponsored by Tecate Contractor and Horteza Vodka. Sanctioned by the Colorado State Boxing Commission Chairman Bill Artis, Director Joseph Mason. Along with the World Boxing Organization President Francisco Paco Barcarcel, Supervisor at ringside John Duggan. At ringside, the three judges scoring will be Robert Hoyle, Levi Martinez, and Danny Nelson. And inside the ring, in charge of the action at the bell, World Championship veteran referee Tony Weeks. And now, the officials are ready. The fighters are ready. Ladies and gentlemen, are you ready? Fight fans, are you ready? For the thousands in attendance and the millions watching around the world, ladies and gentlemen, let's get ready to rumble! Fighting out of the blue corner, wearing black with silver, official weight 139 3/4 pounds. His professional record, 22 victories, including 15 knockouts, only 2 defeats. He comes to us from Beryozovka, Russia. He's the WBO Intercontinental Light Welterweight Champion, recognized as the challenger tonight, the Siberian Rocky Ruslan Provodnikov. fighting out of the red corner, wearing Bronco blue with orange, officially weighing in also at 139 3/4 pounds. As a professional, 34 victories, including 23 knockouts, only 1 defeat. But by way of rematch, he's defeated every man he's ever faced. From Thornton, Colorado, the reigning, defending WBO light welterweight champion of the world, Mile High Mike Alvarado!
Hell yeah. Hey. Here we go. Rush. Here we go. Come on. Okay, gentlemen, you both received your instructions in your dressing room. If he goes right here, it's okay. Anything below is low. Right here is okay. Anything below is low. I want a good, clean fight. Obey my commands at all times. Above all, protect yourselves at all times. Let's go. Thank you.
Alvarado wants to back Provodnikov up. Provodnikov does not go backwards. Someone has got to give tonight, and there ain't too much give in that ring.
Round 1 begins. And before the fight, there was an extended argument in both dressing rooms about the hand wraps. Mike Alvarado had to have his right hand re-wrapped, which very much upset the man who has taken a command of his corner, veteran Southern California trainer, Rudy Hernandez. We'll see if anything ensues as the result of that discussion over hand wraps during the fight.
Provodnikov coming out smart early, trying to cut the ring off and force Mike to fight right away to try to get him lured into that man-to-man, toe-to-toe match that he wants him in.
Provodnikov crowding Alvarado. Alvarado, for the moment, trying not to buy into it. Staying in a defensive cage, waiting to look for counter-punching opportunities against Provodnikov. Now Alvarado starts to work his jab, but he's moving away, and Provodnikov pressuring.
And he's closing the gap quickly enough that Alvarado can't stop his forward momentum.
No, he can't stop the forward momentum. You knew that already, but Alvarado is doing a good job of trying to stick with his game plan early. However, I think he better vacate this plan pretty quickly because he wants to start inflicting damage on Provodnikov like Provodnikov is doing him.
Provodnikov with a right hand over the top. And another right hand over the top by Provodnikov. And he's letting his hands go freely, which Alvarado is not yet doing. This is all Provodnikov early on in round 1.
Kind of reminds you of the Rios fight early, right?
Yup.
Very much so.
The only thing that's different is we heard the Alvarado corner tell us that they thought Provodnikov didn't punch as hard as Rios, but I find that very hard to believe.
And he dug a left hook to the body that looked like it affected Alvarado moments ago.
Good combination.
By Alvarado.
Yes, very good combination by Alvarado.
Good left hook in there by Alvarado.
And Alvarado may be cut already.
What a fight already.
It's a blistering pace in round 1.
Oh, good shot.
Excellent uppercut by Alvarado right on the button. Provodnikov firing that right hand over the top over and over.
And Provodnikov has already forced Alvarado to do something maybe he didn't want to do this early in the fight, open up and start to slug with him.
Good thing for Alvarado, though, is that 7 or 9 pound weight advantage may be beneficial in this.
You saw Alvarado momentarily switch to a southpaw stance, something he did frequently in the second half of the Rios fight. He didn't stay in it long here. Seconds to go in the round. Provodnikov hunting for one more inside rally. Fires a right hand to the body. Left hook upstairs. Alvarado comes back with a right over the top. Good first round.
cutting the rope, he's cutting the ring well. But what I want you to do is I just want you to step over a little bit to the side. Just to the side a little bit, you know? When you punch, you step over a little side. Keep him turning. Don't stand there and wait.
You need that jab cracking, Mike.
Stand and wait. If you get it real close with him, as soon as you get this close, you fire the inside uppercut.
You don't need him to be that close, Mike.
Fire the inside uppercut. And if you do get close, don't stand there for too long. Move a little bit. Move a little bit to one side. You don't have to
You see Ruslan Provodnikov landing that overhand right, to me, his best punch, right on the neck kind of Alvarado. It didn't hit his chin, basically. But here he can make it a little higher and hit him high on the temple with the same overhand right.
And that overhand right got Alvarado into trouble against Rios.
Yes, it did.
And Provodnikov's overhand right got Bradley in trouble early in the fight. Wasn't able to rock Alvarado in round one the way he rocked Tim Bradley, but he was the more active fighter, landed 24 out of 80 punches as opposed to 19 out of 56 for Alvarado. Provodnikov with a 22-15 edge in power shots. You heard Rudy Hernandez in Alvarado's corner talking about uppercuts. If Provodnikov's going to crowd him, Alvarado's got a chance to land that shot.
Provodnikov means that he's not going to allow Mike Alvarado to box him. He's going to run behind him if he has to, cut the ring off, do whatever he has to do to try to turn this into a fight.
Alvarado trying to box him here, using his feet to make Provodnikov chase, and then stepping in to hit him with an uppercut as Provodnikov gets close.
A beautiful left uppercut that he's hitting him with, Jim.
Good jab by Alvarado. He's got things going the way he wants them here in round two.
Good overhand right by Alvarado.
He's limiting Provodnikov's activity and landing accurately.
Hard right hand to the body by Provodnikov.
Best he can do under these circumstances. He's not getting to headhunt the way he did in the first round.
The other thing bad about this, Jim, is Mike Alvarado is using his legs a lot. That may mean he tires greatly in the end of the fight, or the later rounds of the fight.
But he's the one who's accustomed to being at the mile-high altitude. Some felt that by coming here with less than 2 weeks ago, 2 weeks to go before the fight to acclimate, that Provodnikov wasn't respectful enough of the altitude difference.
And we've seen Alvarado in the Rios rematch especially, able to land hard hurting shots, even as he's on his toes moving around. He's not simply boxing, he lands punishing shots as he does it.
And he just landed a punishing uppercut to Ruslan's head.
This has been a very good round, I think, for Alvarado, who's been able to box the way he wants to box and land some hard shots at the moments when he chooses to. And he has limited Provodnikov's chance to wail away with his big shots and windmill his punches the way he did in round one. Good hard right hand by Alvarado.
Alvarado hurt Provodnikov, I think.
Yep, Provodnikov did a little dance.
Yeah, he did. And that's that 9-pound weight advantage, I believe.
No.
Alvarado longer, taller, and as we mentioned, weighs 9 pounds more coming into the ring. Southpaw stance for Alvarado. Another boxing element designed to separate him from Provodnikov in that category. Great round for Mike Alvarado. If he can keep it that way, he wins the fight. Immediately following tonight's live boxing, stick around for the premiere of an all-new legendary night on the amazing in-ring rivalry and out-of-the-ring friendship between Arturo Gatti and Mickey Ward. Let's take a look.
Vicious body shots by Gatti as Mickey Ward pounds away.
This should be the round of the century.
We were quite aware that we were watching something genuinely special, memorable, perhaps historic.
You're part of something that people will never forget.
We could see this bond starting to form.
It was just special to go through with someone like him. Out of trying to kill each other, we became one.
Mickey Ward.
He's got a heart, he fought a hell of a fight.
I fought Arturo 3 times, my last 3 fights, and I made a friend for life.
It follows immediately. When we say goodnight from Denver, that's what you'll see. CompuBox numbers in the second round. Alvarado 19 out of 60. Provodnikov only 10 out of 39.
Rudy Hernandez, Alvarado's trainer, said ideally we're backing up Provodnikov behind the jab and putting him on the ropes. If that doesn't work, we'll keep him turning in the middle of the ring. So this is Alvarado's plan B already. Provodnikov at least forced him into this, but it's a plan B that's working for Alvarado.
Yeah, it's working. And you know, the good thing about these guys that we got coming up, even with these two guys, is once you put them in the ring with one another, their hearts are so big that you can't really give one guy or the other guy the advantage. You never just know. Well, you just never know.
Well, we kept saying coming into the fight, possible fight of the year candidate. And already you've seen the two sides of this coin. If it's a fight like we saw in round one, fight of the year candidate. If it's a boxing match like we saw in round two, not a fight of the year candidate, but a feather in Alvarado's cap.
And a good fight.
Thing is, I think we're going to get a little bit of both of them all night long.
It's Provodnikov's job to make it a great fight. If it's only a good fight, that means Alvarado's probably winning.
And he's not going to make it a great fight, throwing only 39 punches, as was the case in the second round. But Alvarado had a lot to do with that, with his footwork, his jab, his southpaw stance, and those uppercuts. And there's another left-hand uppercut right there.
Yeah, Alvarado landed some brutal shots to make Provodnikov keep his hands at home.
Provodnikov got in his right hand upstairs again. He's going back to throwing the right because Alvarado's given him the chance to stand at close quarters.
And I tell you what, Jim, they're throwing some really vicious shots here.
Brutal is the right word. This has been a brutal third round.
Oh, good right hook.
Perfect shot out of the southpaw stance by Alvarado. Roy Jones exactly right. When he throws the right off the front foot in that stance, it's a right hook and well delivered. Now a left hook by Alvarado as he switched back into the conventional stance, showing all of his game in the first 2 or 3 rounds. Over the top with the right hand by Provodnikov.
This is when you can tell the guy's in really good condition. Mike Alvarado was dancing a little bit from those shots in the first round. Now that he's really warmed up, the shots don't seem to have much effect on him right now.
Back into the southpaw stance for Alvarado. Shifting back into the conventional stance. Trying to give Provodnikov a lot to think about, because Provodnikov is the kind of fighter who doesn't want to think, he wants to fight. Brenda Alvarado, mother of Mike, his stepdad, the man who trained him in wrestling as a son, Gabe Alvarado, and 4 sisters.
I don't want you to stand too long.
Mike Alvarado's original name was Mike Cisneros, but he changed it because he actually never really knew his birth father.
One side or the other, not in front. Okay? And also when you get him close.
Okay? Our game plan is still working, okay? Stay with them. Don't let him go. Head movement, okay?
Don't let him go.
All right? Okay, Vasily. Okay?
You got it?
Stay lang. Have fun, okay?
One hit at a time, all right?
CompuBox numbers in the third round. Alvarado 25 out of 70, 19 power connects. Provodnikov 17 out of 64. Much more comfortable for him than the second round. 13 power connects. Harold, how do you have it through 3?
Okay, Jim, I just love it when Mike Alvarado says to heck with the game plan and stands and bangs with Ruslan Provodnikov. 2-1, 29, 28, Mike Alvarado. You know, in round 1, Provodnikov outbagged him in close. Round 2, Mike Alvarado did this. He boxed, he moved. But round 3, stood in the middle, banged with the guy, and outbanged him. I just love that. 2-1, Mike Alvarado.
Glad you're happy, Harold.
Oh, yeah.
And that's what reminds me of Arturo Gatti about Alvarado. When he doesn't stick to the game plan, he can still win that way. He's a great and winning action fighter.
He's very smart.
Right hand by Alvarado.
He's choosing his time to train with Ruslan Provodnikov, and he's choosing his time to just move around in boxing. The smartest thing you can do with a big puncher like Provodnikov.
Provodnikov is beginning to get a little bit more comfortable looking at Alvarado's southpaw stance and beginning to find some openings. He's sharpening his right hand and throwing it a little straighter to try to land against that southpaw stance.
I think also Mike Alvarado realized that he can hurt Provodnikov.
Upshoot jab out of the southpaw stance by Alvarado. Kind of rocked Provodnikov's head back. Provodnikov hustling to continue closing the gap as Alvarado uses the ring and his feet to create distance. Good left hook by Provodnikov. Another good left hook by Provodnikov.
So far, other than that moment that Provodnikov seemed to, his legs seemed unsteady for a second, neither one is seen badly hurt by the other's power. And the answer to that question, can one really hurt the other, could determine this fight.
You know, you got to give Mike Alvarado credit because he has been prepared through his wrestling techniques to pick up this weight after he weighs in.
There's a right hand by Provodnikov. He's having a pretty good round in terms of power shots. Landed several clean left hooks, and then that right hand around the guard of Alvarado. Another right hand lands for Provodnikov. Alvarado trying to keep him off with the jab back in the southpaw stance, but Provodnikov is beginning to find a couple of answers as to what to do against Alvarado's boxing style. Another right hand by Provodnikov. Big right hand by Alvarado. Uppercut by Provodnikov. Both fighters landing clean shots as we come down the stretch in round 4. Raisa Provodnikov, here all the way from Beryasovo in Siberia. According to what we're told, she's never seen her son fight professionally before.
Take a deep breath. Unbelievable, brother. You got him, okay? Same game plan, but don't forget about the body shots, okay? Now.
So try and hit him in the body.
Now.
Keep your hands up, hit him in the body.
Once you put him the rope, quick, right hand to the body and then left hook to the body. Quick, okay? Nice and quick, okay? All right? Then get out and shake it off, all right?
Here you see Mike Alvarado feint down and come over the top with a beautiful straight right. Best punch of the fight for him in that round. And I think, like I said before, he realizes now that he possibly can hurt Ruslan with that right hand.
Happy box numbers in 4. Alvarado 21 out of 68. Provodnikov 19 out of 70. Provodnikov with a 16 to 15 power advantage. In other words, it was virtually a dead even round in terms of CompuBox numbers, but the clean shots Provodnikov landed persuaded Harold Letterman to give him the round. So it's even on the Letterman scorecard after 4. And the tempo is building as Alvarado's energy level begins to ebb a little, and Provodnikov applies the pressure again.
The fact that this action feels like it's building to a crescendo,
remarkable.
Good body shot by Ruslan. Oh, great right hand by Mike. They are trading some vicious punches again, Jim.
Hard right hand by Provodnikov. And yes, trading is the name of the game tonight.
Provodnikov's corner wants him to keep his hands up and focus on the body, and it's still early enough in the fight that makes a lot of sense for him.
Well, you heard Marvin Somodio say to Provodnikov in the corner, you've got him now. Now you understand what to do. Apply more pressure. And if you haven't seen Somodio before, he's Freddie Roach's assistant. He came out of the Manny Pacquiao ethos, and he is training Ruslan Provodnikov for this fight, while Freddie Roach is in Baguio City, the Philippines, getting Manny Pacquiao ready for Brandon Rios. Another big left hook for Ruslan Provodnikov.
And I'm very surprised at how well Mike Alvarado is taking these big punches.
Alvarado's able to create space, jumping in with that left uppercut, it seems to me, Roy.
Yeah, he is. That left uppercut has been a great weapon for him all night because Ruslan keeps both of his hands on the sides of his head.
You say that you're surprised by how well Alvarado's taking Provodnikov's punches, Roy. You believe Provodnikov has thudding power?
No, I know he has thudding power because You only seen Timothy Bradley hit the deck a couple of times from a headshot. That was Kendall Holt and Ruslan Provodnikov twice. So that tells you he does have thudding power. I never even saw Manny Pacquiao hurt Tim Bradley.
Great point.
And Manny Pacquiao has knocked out junior middleweights.
That is true.
Provodnikov can punch, period.
Without a doubt.
Alvarado back in the conventional stance. Landed a jab a moment ago. Body shots by Alvarado.
Alvarado's proven in his career, though, that he takes a hell of a shot, and even if he is hurt, comes storming back. Real punchers like Greatest Prescott and Brandon Rios can tell you about that.
Provodnikov with a hard right hand inside. Landed a double jab a couple of minutes ago. Another good all-action round by both fighters, and they touch gloves as they go back to their corners. November 2, middleweight champ Gennady Golovkin faces off with fellow knockout artist Curtis Stevens. Stevens has bricks in his glove, figuratively. 1 week later, Rocky Martinez takes on Mikey Garcia for a 130-pound title, and Nonito Donaire and Vic Darchinyan square off in a long talked-about rematch. Rematch of a fight that Darchinyan won with a thunderous shot.
Donaire won.
Donaire won with a thunderous shot that knocked Darchinyan out.
At a time that Darchinyan was rampaging through the weight class.
I want you running. Take your time. No, but the other round before you work. But take your time. Take your time.
Let's go. CompuBox numbers through the 5th round. Alvarado 100 out of 308. Provodnikov 87 out of 303. Small power advantage for Alvarado. Small advantage in landed punches for Provodnikov in the 5th. Three-punch combination for Mike Alvarado. And an uppercut. And another fusillade of punches. Provodnikov waiting to get off in this round. Alvarado has taken the lead early. Right hand uppercut and a right cross by Alvarado. Trying to be a little bit more assertive here in round 6. Hard right hand by Alvarado. Right on the chin.
Right on the chin.
Even when it becomes an action fight, you have to be impressed by Alvarado's discipline. Something that he probably really learned in that first Rios fight. Sticks with the game plan when it would be easier at times for him just to sell out and slug toe-to-toe because he's good at it.
Provodnikov now erupting with that left hook again. 3 straight left hooks. And a 4th one. And a 5th one.
And Mike is taking them very, very good.
Right hand landing for Alvarado. Body shot by Provodnikov.
And that's the one thing I think Alvarado is not doing enough of. I don't think he's going to the puncher's body enough, because Provodnikov is the puncher in this fight. We know you have to beat a puncher's body to wear him down for later in the fight.
Now, so far, by CompuBox count, Provodnikov is throwing more body shots than is Alvarado.
Even as Provodnikov is having success, you see Alvarado keeping the hands high, trying to keep the chin tucked, working behind the jab.
He's landed 2 really good left hands to the body since I mentioned the deficiency in body shots.
And that last one was a very good one, Jim.
Winging right hand by Alvarado. Provodnikov keeps on coming. Pressure, pressure, pressure. Right hand over the top, maybe his best punch. Although in this fight, he's been very efficient with the left hook.
Tell you what, Mike Alvarado didn't come here to give his title up, I'll tell you that.
And he's faced with a guy who came to take it.
That's the other thing I want to make a note of. A lot of times we talk down on the belt, but people don't realize that a title belt is a cornerstone or a milestone for up-and-coming professional boxing.
Yeah, once you've reached the top, maybe they don't mean as much. But Alvarado very much wants to keep the belt that was given him after the win over Rios.
Smudge in my eyeball. I know. Okay, man. Okay, we're on. We're halfway through, Mike. We got to get this punches going.
Let me take blood out. There you go. Take some water out.
Mike, you're doing good. Except that when you stop, I want body movement from you. Either be on one side or be on the other. Don't stay in the middle. Don't stay in the middle. So
he see Ruslan Provodnikov land his left hook, big left hook, and it hurt Mike Alvarado. You see his legs do a little dance right here. But the bad thing about it was Ruslan landed this punch another 4 or 5 times this round, including that shot right there, right down the middle. But that one didn't hurt him as bad because he probably saw it coming. It was only the 5th time he got caught with that same punch.
Let's go. Well, we mentioned at the beginning of the 6th that Alvarado seemed determined to have an active round and build a number. 29 out of 72 in that round. Provodnikov landed 16 of 53. Harold, how do you have it midway through?
Okay, Jim, I got it 57. 57, 3 rounds apiece. You know, Jim, I thought Ruslan Provodnikov landed some hellacious shots in rounds 4 and 5 to take a lead. But Mike Alvarado just outworked him in round 6 to even it all up. I mean, I think this fight is about as close as possible. Just a great fight. 3 rounds apiece, 57-57.
One of the reasons I think Alvarado takes those shots so well is he keeps his chin tucked well. Those shots that would hit another fighter maybe on the chin hit him higher on the cheek, on the head. And they're thudding shots, but not knockout shots as a result.
One of the reasons the fight is staying close is that both corners have excellent rapport with their fighters, and they're both making adjustments on the fly, round by round, and those adjustments are working. What Alvarado did in round 6 worked for him, just as what Provodnikov had done in rounds 3 and 4 worked for him.
It's a chess match.
A brutal chess match.
Alvarado back in that southpaw stance.
And he's really done very well in this southpaw stance, Jim. He surprised me because I don't really remember him going southpaw too often in the big fights.
I totally agree. He has a much better right jab than most conventional fighters are able to show when they switch southpaw.
He does a really good job of it.
He hooks off the jab as a southpaw.
Yes, he does.
This is another round in which Alvarado seems to have begun more actively than Provodnikov, but Provodnikov once again crowding and looking to get back to that left hook, which served him so well in the 3rd and 4th rounds.
Alvarado's corner should be telling him to go to the body as often as possible because, like I said, just like we know that Ruslan took a lot out of Tim Bradley also took a lot out of Ruslan. And Ruslan is cut now.
Seventh round of the scheduled 12. Right hand over the top by Alvarado. Crunching right hand inside by Provodnikov. Body shots by Alvarado, those hurt. Provodnikov coming back with roundhouse punches upstairs. Left hook lands. Been his best punch of the night.
It's almost like them body shots.
Good right hand by Provodnikov. Big left hook by Provodnikov. Right on the button. Blood coming out of Provodnikov's left nostril. Won't bother him a bit. Keeps on coming.
Stop. They switched roles there. Alvarado became the body puncher and Provodnikov became the headhunter.
And that's what Alvarado
Another
has to
left
do.
hook by Provodnikov.
And Alvarado's right eye looks like it's swelling up.
From the left hooks. Right eye of Provodnikov shows blood on the outside. Good right hand by Provodnikov as they came together in the middle of the ring, and he followed up with a 1-2 as the bell sounded. But you see the problem for his right eye as he goes back to the corner.
Deep breath. The battling. Okay, you're winning. You're winning, huh? You got him, brother. You got him. Okay. Once we are in the right position to throw punches, let's throw more than one, okay? More than one combination, okay? One is not enough, all right? Okay. Beautiful.
Right here you see this short left hand to the eye open up the cut a little bit more. You just saw a drop from it right before that punch, the left hook landed. But that left hook, the second short left hook, is what may have opened it all the way up.
Cut man Eddie Akaway was working in the corner on the right eye of Ruslan Provodnikov. You heard Marvin Samodio asking the interpreter, Vadim Korneyev, to tell Provodnikov to throw more than one punch when he gets in position to land. Alvarado's right eye is beginning to swell up, both outside and above the eyebrow.
I tell you, Mike Alvarado is fighting as smart of a fight as you can fight when you're in the ring with a guy like Ruslan Provodnikov. He's changing up. He's doing little things to keep him on the outside as much as possible. He's not allowed to just sit down on his punches, and it makes it very difficult for that puncher to land a big shot.
And he's doing a brilliant job of using his feet in this round to take small steps to keep Provodnikov off balance. But he just ate another big left hook from Provodnikov, and there's a body shot by Ruslan.
And in the last couple rounds, Provodnikov is landing much more cleanly on Alvarado's chin.
And Alvarado's hurt as Provodnikov takes him into the corner. Provodnikov hammering Alvarado against the rope, and he knocks him down. First time in Alvarado's career, amateur or pro, that he's been on the canvas.
And that was a result of that body shot, Jim. Trust what I tell you.
A tremendous rally by Provodnikov.
He really cut it close to that 10 count just then, Alvarado.
See how Alvarado responds to some of the biggest adversity of his career. Another thunderous left hook by Provodnikov.
This is
that's the first clinch of the fight.
This is the position that Arturo Gatti found himself against Mickey Ward.
Oh, that body shot right there.
Body shot by Provodnikov. He's got a chance to knock Alvarado out here as he puts him on the canvas for the second time. 4, 5, 6, 7, 8.
Alvarado's going to have a legendary night to survive this right now, Jim.
No 3 knockdown rule in effect. Big left hook by Provodnikov.
And Alvarado took it like a man.
He's having trouble seeing out of that right eye.
And he took it like a man.
Good right hand by Alvarado. Uppercut by Alvarado. Trying to fight his way out of it. Back to the southpaw stance. Back to the footwork. Provodnikov hunting for one more big shot. Another left hook by Provodnikov. Alvarado starting to get his legs back. Fighting back. Lands a right hand.
And throwing bombs in exchange.
A tremendous shot by Provodnikov and a straight left hand in return by Alvarado. Phenomenal stuff. Phenomenal stuff. Tremendous right hands there by Alvarado. Provodnikov stopped in his tracks for the moment. Comes back with a left and a right. Another left hook. Another right hand upstairs. Thunderous round for Provodnikov. Alvarado on the canvas twice. Here in the 8th round.
Belt or no belt, those are 2 champions you just saw in that round.
Beautiful.
Not just stand there, not punch. Grab him. Grab him as you have to. You understand? You hold him. Get me 2 punches in and then grab him.
He's done, Mike. He's done.
Mike, get me 2 or 3 punches in and grab him. Step in with him.
You stack him, Mike. You stack him. You good?
Yes.
You good?
Here you see Ruslan Provodnikov on the attack with these big body shots right there. That's what starts all the drama. You saw his legs give a little bit then. Ruslan just followed up to the head, kept the pressure on, and just kept attacking until he got Mike down. In the second knockdown here we see coming up, the exact same thing, another vicious body shot that starts all the drama. And that's why, guys, they always teach you, go to the body first.
Now we'll try to lift Alvarado. Provodnikov landed 31 out of 71 shots in that brutal 8th round. He's now got a 4-point lead on the Harold Letterman scorecard as the result of the scoring, 10-7 in the 8th. Mike Alvarado needs a big comeback before a home crowd.
He got the crowd behind him to do it, I'll tell you that. You got to get that body shot off of him.
Oh, that right hand to the body.
That body shot is what's killing him. And most fighters usually realize when they get hurt by a body shot to go to the opponent's body. Mike's not doing it right now, though.
Well, we're learning, just as we did in the Tim Bradley fight, it's pretty doggone hard to hurt Ruslan Provodnikov. He can take it, and he keeps on coming. Right hand body shot by Provodnikov. glancing right hand over the top by Alvarado.
And what he's doing, Jim, is those body shots won't allow Alvarado to recover or won't allow his legs to recover. That's why Ruslan keeps going down now.
Provodnikov said this would not come down to technique, that this fight would come down to a battle of wills. Who could break who? He has not yet broken Mike Alvarado, though Alvarado has started to bend.
Eddie Akaway in Ruslan Provodnikov's corner has done a terrific job with the cut outside his right eye. It has been impossible for the men in Alvarado's corner to stop the swelling over his right eye because Provodnikov keeps tattooing him with the left hook.
He's an organic puncher, Jim. He's been eating deer hearts, raw fish all his life, and is showing his punching power right now. No GMOs and all the hormones they put in the meat that we normally get.
3 more big shots upstairs by Provodnikov. Alvarado getting knocked back on his heels.
Oh, that right to the body from Provodnikov.
Alvarado showing tremendous courage as he takes Provodnikov's thunder and looks for a way to answer back.
Can't ask
Good
for
right hand shot by Alvarado.
Can't ask for a bigger heart than that of Mike Alvarado. He's giving the mile-high fans everything that they could possibly ask for.
Provodnikov grinning after he almost swung himself off his feet, trying to land the closeout left hook. Body shot and left hook by Provodnikov. Stalking. Attacking and stalking again. They trade right hands.
Mike actually blocked the right hand and landed the right hand. But he got caught with a good body shot right before that. Got to get that body shot off of him.
Alvarado still somewhat in recovery mode, though fighting his way all the way through the night. November 16th, Andre Ward makes his long-awaited ring return against undefeated challenger Edwin Rodriguez. That's at 168 pounds. November 23, live on HBO pay-per-view. Superstar Manny Pacquiao at welterweight takes on hard-charging Brandon Rios. And check out the HBO Instagram page for more photos like that one. There is Ruslan Provodnikov's mother. He actually fought, and there's the Alvarado family, and they're going through heart palpitations.
This is you right here.
Power connects through round 9. Alvarado 125 out of 273. Provodnikov 139 out of 355. Provodnikov has really piled it on in the last 2 rounds, landing 51 power shots to only 18 for Alvarado. 3 rounds to go. This mile-high Mike have a comeback left in him. Back to the southpaw stance. I don't think boxing will win the fight for him now. Harold, how do you have it through 9?
Okay, Jim, I'm getting 87, 82, 6 rounds to 3, Ruslan Provodnikov. Jimmy's got that huge 10-7 round in round 8 where he scored 2 knockdowns. I mean, Alvarado's got to either get some knockdowns or win some rounds big because mathematically he lost the fight already. Anyway, 6 rounds to 3, Provodnikov.
And we're not sure you heard it on the air, but Rudy Hernandez and Sean Bielhauer have told Mike Alvarado in his corner that he needs a knockout to win.
But like Rios and Alvarado, what drew so many fans to this fight as a potential fight of the year is that these are the kind of guys, because of the stuff on the inside, that you can never count out until they're actually counted out.
I tell you though, Ruslan is going to his body very viciously here, and that's going to make it very difficult for Mike to be able to muster up the power that he needs to put on a knockout shot.
I also don't believe, as well as he's done in the southpaw stance, I don't think he's got a knockout punch out of the southpaw stance. He's got to go back to his conventional stance and hope to land a right hand.
Like that right there.
Right hand.
There's a right hand shot, partially blocked by Provodnikov, but Alvarado's got the right idea now. Jab and then fire the right hand. Ruslan reaching for the body, not quite getting it there.
And we saw both of the families of these fighters. And I tell you what, neither family has nothing to be ashamed of here.
No, it's a valor fight. They've both shown courage all the way.
And Ruslan's won that part of the fight. He's turned it into a will versus will fight. Alvarado's got to start imposing his.
Hard right hand by Provodnikov. Now another shot to the body. And now another Provodnikov rally. And he's got Alvarado in trouble again. Pins him against the ropes. Body shot. Big hammers upstairs. Left hooks and right hands.
And watch Mile High come right back and start digging his own.
He's got to start. He's starting to look
Body
in
shots by Alvarado.
At least he's going to
Three
the body.
right hands to the body. Left hook upstairs. Uppercut, trying to resurrect himself from another bad spot.
He came through a hard punch now, Joe, because he's so afraid to leave his hands out for the body shot.
This right hand shot by Provodnikov knocks Alvarado off balance. Tony Weeks watching carefully as Provodnikov again has Alvarado in trouble in the 10th.
Mike, stand big. You can, Mike, we gotta stop this fight. You don't got nothing left. Nothing left. Huh, Mike? Huh? You got nothing left. Okay, we're done.
Oh, Mike, are you okay? I need you to tell me. Are you? No. Tell me, you okay? Do you want to continue? That's it. Fight's over.
Tony Weeks is going to stop it. Ruslan Provodnikov has a 10th round technical knockout victory over Mike Alvarado.
Ruslan Provodnikov said, this is not a boxing match. This will not be about technique or preparation. This will come down to who can break the other man's will. I cannot believe I saw what I just saw. But Provodnikov broke Alvarado, who always seemed unbreakable.
A tremendous effort by Provodnikov, who wasn't going to leave unhappy tonight.
He said
it's pressing the issue.
Been his dream to become a world champion. Like I said, people try to take it away from these title belts, but they mean something to fighters. Guys go out and their whole life, their whole dream is to become a world champion.
And Roy, this was a guy who was a sparring partner for Manny Pacquiao, who was an ESPN2 brawler, who was not given by most experts the chance to rise to this level. But again, wouldn't take no for an answer.
No, he wouldn't take no for an answer. Said it's his lifelong dream to become world champion. Once he realized that he could turn professional, and now he's living it up. The dream has come true.
Getting a hug from his promoter, Artie Palulo.
He see Provodnikov on the attack, but watch, Jim, he never eludes the vicious body attack. See that? That makes it to where it's very hard for a man to come back and recover from a vicious attack like that. If every now and then when you got a guy hurt, you dig to his body like that, it's very hard for him to regain strength in his legs or energy in his full body.
From the moment Provodnikov began targeting his left hook in the 3rd round, he landed bigger shots, and those body hammers ultimately took the starch out of Alvarado's game.
And that's why I said that Alvarado should have been going to the body of Ruslan as well, because he allowed Ruslan to stay strong.
Tremendous celebration for Provodnikov on going in the ring. Sadness all around the arena. They came to root for Mike Alvarado. They should be proud of the way the hometown hero fought. But he was in against an unstoppable force tonight. Let's go to Michael Buffer with the particulars on the TKO.
Ladies and gentlemen, courtesy of our promoters, Top Rank Incorporated and Art Palulo's Banner Promotions, along with Delgado Promotions, we go to the Tecate con Carácter and Horteza Vodka official time. The end comes at the end of round number 10. The winner by TKO victory, and he is the new WBO light welterweight champion of the world, Tommy Gaspada, the Rocky from Siberia, Ruslan Provodnikov.
And if you were watching the exchange between Provodnikov and Alvarado, While Michael Buffer was making his announcement about the TKO, that was a little preview of Gatti Ward, because that's about the respect that fighters can only gain from facing each other in this kind of a war.
That's exactly right. That's the camaraderie that you learn to discover more about that guy than you know about any other person on the planet.
Final CompuBox numbers. Alvarado got off to a very good start, winds up landing 102 out of 563. But Provodnikov, 206 out of 597. The big rally in the last few rounds before he finally was able to get rid of Alvarado after he got him in trouble in the 8th round and kept chasing him through the 9th and 10th. Power shots, a final edge for Provodnikov, who landed 31 more and threw 105 more power punches through the fight. Alvarado was more accurate. Provodnikov, as we mentioned, wouldn't take no for an answer. And now Max Kellerman stands by with the winner as you look at punch zone numbers that show the 39 body shots that landed on Alvarado, 34 of them thrown with the right hand by Provodnikov. Probably at the end of the day, the big difference in the fight, along with the 64 left hooks that landed around Alvarado's right eye. Now let's go to Max.
And I should mention that translating for us is Provodnikov's co-manager, Vadim Kornilev, not our HBO translator. It is his co-manager. Ruslan, congratulations. You said this would not be about technique. This would come down to wills. How were you able to break Alvarado's will?
Руслан, поздравляю тебя. Ты сказал перед боем, что это не будет о технике. Этот бой будет о том, у кого сильнее сила, у кого сила воли. Как ты смог сломать его силу воли?
Как смог сломать, потому что у меня сильнее. Я выходил, я сказал, я выходил не за эти пояса, не за эти деньги. Вы мне не верили? Я выходил за свою команду, за свой народ, который сюда приехал с другого континента. Вот для них я дрался, для них я сегодня не должен был сломаться, я должен был его поломать, я это сделал.
I knew what I had to do is break him, like I said. I could not disappoint my team. I don't care about the titles. I told you, maybe you didn't believe me, I'm telling you now, I don't care about the titles. It's all about the war we had today. I had to break his will to win this fight, and I did that.
How were you able to do it?
Как ты сломал его силу воли? Как ты смог это сделать?
Как я мог, как, какой вопрос? Я был готов, я был уверен, что у меня хорошая поддержка, я еще раз говорю. Поддержка близких, поддержка мамы, поддержка всех родных. Любой мог бы сегодня сломаться, но я сегодня сказал, что я сегодня выйду умирать, и второй раз я шансов не упущу. Я это слово сдержал.
I came out today, I had the support of my mother here, my team, all my relatives, all my loved ones, they were all here. It's because of them. They were here, and I knew I could not break, and I didn't. He did.
What difference did Freddie Roach make in this fight for you?
Какую разницу Фредди сделал в этом бою для тебя?
Он в этой подготовке, в этом бою, он сделал просто максимум, он сделал все. Он все свое время, которое только мог, уделял мне. Просто вот, я не знаю, он каждый день одевал жилет и вставал со мной на лапы. Мы работали до автоматизма все эти комбинациями. И это все сделало, это все принесло мне победу.
Freddie spent all the time I needed with me. This is all because of him. He spent every single hour he had free. He put on his mitts, he put on his cover for his body. He let me punch him as hard as I could. He took the punishment. He said sometimes it hurt, but he did it for me. If it wasn't for him, I wouldn't be able to automate all these combinations as much as they just came to me today.
Man, he seemed very pleased when you came back to the corner. What was he telling you?
Марвин говорит, очень доволен. Что он тебе говорил?
Марвин сегодня просто был на высоте. Я сегодня приходил в угол, он мне спокойно говорил, что надо делать, я выходил и делал. Я просто был поражен. Я сказал, что со мной моя команда, они знают, что делать. Я им доверяю. Я им доверился, и я сегодня выиграл.
Marvin was on a different level today. He was very calm. He told me what to do. I did it, and it worked. I trusted him, and it all worked. That's all.
Филиппинский Фредди Роуч.
It's the Filipino Freddie Roach.
What's next? What do you want next, Ruslan?
Что следующее? Что ты хочешь дальше?
Не просите меня сейчас сказать ответ, потому что сейчас я готов только сказать, что все, я устал, я не хочу больше драться. Дайте мне отдохнуть. Я хочу подумать, что и дальше.
Don't make me give you the answer right now. The answer I have right now, I'm very tired. let me get a rest, and I'll think about it.
Well, whatever the answer is, we can't wait to see you back in there again. Congratulations, and thank you for that performance. Jim.